there's been this glorification of the word hustle. What are some of the risks that come out of winging it, out of hustling?
Well, let's just break down hustling. Hustling also just has a criminal connotation to it. But it also just means you're not taking it seriously. So if you don't take yourself seriously, no one is about to come and hold your hand and take you seriously. The risk is absolutely failure, and you've wasted time, money, resources, and you're just not going to get to where you need to be, which means you're not going to change your situation.
Entrepreneurship today is often glorified as hustle. Work harder, grind longer, just figure it out. But what if that mindset is actually the reason so many small businesses fail? In this conversation, I'm joined by business strategist Lerato Mathodlana, who works with entrepreneurs across South Africa to help them move from survivalist hustlers to structured businesses. And in this clip, she explains why hustling without structure might be the biggest mistake an entrepreneur can make.
The word backbone gets thrown around a lot. SMMEs are called the backbone of the economy. But I don't think many people appreciate what backbone means. You've already mentioned 60% of workforce is made up of SMMEs, yet 70 to 80% of SMMEs don't make it to the first 5 years.
Yeah.
Why, despite being the backbone, what are the common things that are causing them to not make it? If they're that important to an economy, why are they not making it past that first 5-year mark?
I guess I've picked up that foundationally, the motivators when you go into a business is, of course, for you to either create something, or for you to follow a passion, or for you to build a legacy, right? That's what we've been taught when it comes to business. And when it comes to SMMEs, we find that, number one, we are building survivalist businesses. There is no succession plan. When you start a business, it is usually for you to meet a need. So it always has to be about the customer. But we're finding that SMMEs are using businesses to make a living because of the high unemployment rate, the lack of opportunities, and also the information gaps that exist. There are so many people who don't know the basics. And it goes back to a lot of things: our history, our education system, the exposure, where we grew up, background, and a lot of us are first generational entrepreneurs. So you don't know how to do it, what you're doing. And that's why I found that we glorify the winging. Oh, just wing it, you figure it out. And those things catch up with you. Those system gaps catch up with you. Your lack of planning catches up with you, and it becomes very frustrating and overwhelming when you have to go and fix it in order for the business to stabilize. So when it comes to SMMEs and us being the backbone, it actually is true. But are we really set up to be what we actually are?
There's a word you used there, winging.
Yeah.
It made me immediately think of another word. When I did a bit of research on you, there's a word that comes up a lot where I think it's nice because there's been this glorification of the word hustle. And I feel like when you said winging, I was also thinking hustle. Now, hustling is great. You've got the 9 to 5 and maybe you're hustling to bring in a second income or something along those lines. But it also, if it's all you do, it might be risky. It's similar to the winging. What are some of the risks that come out of winging it, out of hustling?
Yeah. Well, let's just break down hustling. Hustling also just has a criminal connotation to it. But it also just means you're not taking it seriously. So if you don't take yourself seriously, no one is about to come and hold your hand and take you seriously. The risk is absolutely failure, and you've wasted time, money, resources, and you're just not going to get to where you need to be, which means you're not going to change your situation. So I think entrepreneurs need to snap out of that. Another term that I absolutely loathe is plug me, this plug culture, where people are just like, oh, there's a supplier there, go there, do this, da, 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 da. That free information that you see on social media, that, oh, it's free information, just give me your supplier, just tell me how to do it, give me your recipe, give me your IP, is actually diminishing the importance and the uniqueness of your own business. So if you're going to share your trade secrets, you are winging it. because you see no value in what you have to offer. So there are a lot of things out there that as entrepreneurs we have to reflect on. Just the decorum, just how we carry ourselves, and how we even gather information and present it. And when you put it together in your business or product and services.
If I watch a lot of your TikToks and even YouTube, it looks like you're pretty YouTube famous. It seems like you have found a balance between sharing your trade secrets to enable SMMEs, but then at the same time giving them just enough to building a bit of a relationship, building a bit of loyalty, and when they are ready to pay, they tend to move into your business side or the professionalized side of the business. How have you found that balance? Because you're comfortable. You're sitting with me for a few hours now, giving lots of information and guidance and advice to SMMEs. And this is things that you've learned over years and years where people pay for this type of information. How do you find that balance?
But before we hear the answer to that, let me share something important. One of the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face isn't just access to funding. It's understanding the type of funding they actually need. Most people search broadly: business funding, small business loan, funding for my company. But funding doesn't really work like that. In reality, there are different types of funding designed to solve different problems in a business. For example, if you've won a contract but need capital to fulfill the order, that's where purchase order funding or tender funding comes in. If you've already delivered work and you're waiting 30, 60, or even 90 days for a customer to pay, that's where invoice funding can unlock the cash that's already sitting in your business. This is what we call fit for purpose funding, matching the right funding to the specific problem your business is trying to solve. And that's exactly what Sourcefin tries to do. Instead of trying to force every business into a generic loan, Sourcefin works with the entrepreneur to understand the opportunity, structure the right type of funding, and help them unlock growth. If you want to learn more about the different funding tools that exist, we've also created a video explaining 10 different types of business funding and how each one solves a very specific business challenge. I'll link that below. So instead of searching broadly for funding, start by understanding the problem you're trying to solve and then look for the funding designed to solve it. And if you're not sure where to start, you can always reach out to the team at Sourcefin. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Well, let me just take you back. In the beginning, I just picked up that I know things that a lot of people didn't know. And that's how I started. I would do it for free on the side, and then the bug bit me, And I said to myself, there is a platform. If I'm spending data and my Wi-Fi, my electricity, and my phone life is actually depleting, something has to come through. So I'm always looking for opportunity. To make a buck, I guess we could say hustling. But when I formalized my business, there were certain barriers and boundaries that had to come up, where I was not a helpline. As much as I am a consultant, it's not a free-for-all. It's not, I'm also trying to build a brand and position my business and grow my business. So I had to implement systems, formalizing it from social media. I don't do business on WhatsApp. And a lot of people do business on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is not a platform where you can conduct business transactions. TikTok is not a place where you can get clients. It's a place where you can get clients, but you qualify clients there. You don't trade there. So let's move you from all of those free systems to where I actually have some sort of control and my processes can then flow. So there's no interruption in my sales funnel. So I came up with that system and it has been working. I treat my social media as a call center line, where you press 1 for CSD, press 2 for compliance, press 3 for funding, because you are absolutely going to go where I want us to go.
Absolutely.
Right? So those are some of the control measures that have helped me to also eliminate the time wasters. You have a big following, I have a big following, and there's just people just want to talk to you for the sake of talking to you. And people ask for your number, but you're not going to give my number until we have established that I can help you and you can help me. So yes, that's how it has come about. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I suppose you mentioned you do have a huge following and lots of comments, and lots of, I suppose, leads come in. How do you qualify those leads? How do you make sure it's a lead that actually has the potential of turning into a customer?
All right. So like I said, so when you come into my DM, let's just hypothetically, and you say, for instance, you need assistance with purchase order funding, what I'll do is then I'll say to you, all right, first step is for us to do an assessment. We have to have a consultation because every business is unique. We might have the same issues, but we have different needs. So at the end, then once I have given you my pricing for the consultation, then what you will do, I will send it to you via email. That's when once you've said, yes, I'm good, I'm happy to proceed, we'll just move into email now. Then after email, then we have our session, of course, after you've paid for the consultation. We have our session, and after the session, once I have a clear understanding of where you are, that's when we will go into the service. So that's basically how it works. It's all about the client being able to understand what you can offer and them also giving the go ahead. You don't have to coerce anyone to support you. The terms are clear. And there are people who push back, no, we've been scammed before, I need your WhatsApp number. And if you're not going to follow how I do things, then it means we are going to be clashing at the end. So you are not a client that I would like to work with.
Makes a lot of sense. I suppose a lot of people coming through are probably still in that hustling phase, that winging it phase, and they're looking for guidance from someone like you that has gone through the formalization process, getting your business ready to grow. I think that's the focus of this conversation. I think you and I are going to unpack how to professionalize the hustle, if we could term it in a simple way. If an SMME is watching this, or a small business, or even someone that isn't a small business yet, they've got an idea, why should they stay until the end? What type of value are they going to get by the end of this conversation?
Well, I think at the end of the conversation, my goal is to move people from hope. I'm tired. We find that entrepreneurs love motivation. You have to tickle them, you have to give them fluff in order for them to do what needs to be done. This conversation is all about building your capacity and your understanding, and also you being aware what the stakes are. You cannot afford to fail. So when you stay throughout this conversation, you will pick up that there is an element of work that needs to be done, and you need to also hone your mindset and prepare yourself to do the work for the results to come through.
It seems like you got either frustrated or a little bit emotional from when you said the word hope.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it that makes you feel that way when you think of the word hope when it relates to small business?
I think small businesses, there's an element that frustrates me about them because sometimes you get a tinge of entitlement when it comes to, you should know the basics. You should actually be prepared for certain things. Take your business seriously. It's basic things like, why are you not communicating with your clients? Why is your customer service like this? And these are things that I guess from a point of privilege you would expect that people already know, but they don't. And you then ask, why did you start the business? When someone sends you a DM, I'm registered, but I don't know what to do. You want to snap back and say, why did you register to begin with? Now you're going to make it my problem to figure it out for you. And that is not the work of a coach. That is not the work of a consultant. The job of a business coach is to strategize alongside the business owner in order to bring forth their vision. So when you hope for a vision or for an outcome, you're not giving me any substance. You need to have a foundation that actually speaks to where you want to go, because I'm not going to say, Jedd, your trucking business has to have 13 trucks by the end of 2026. I can't make those decisions for you, because after our session, You need to go and make sure that you secure those contracts that are actually going to bring that vision or that goal forward. So we live in so much hope and we rely so much on motivation, but we have been overly motivated. We have to now tap into execution. So that's why I say that hoping in business is just a waste of your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a phrase I love. Strategy without execution is just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Now, I think to wrap up this portion, I would love us to... It's so easy to fall into the trap of being paralyzed by planning or procrastinating through advice. So at the end of this conversation, for instance, there's going to be YouTube videos that are suggested or videos that are suggested that say, now that you enjoyed this, watch this. And then that one is going to be binged and then they're going to watch the next one. What is it that's stopping them from taking hope and turning it into execution? Is it fear? What is it? Laziness? Is it entitlement? What like based on your experience with small businesses that you've interacted with, what is it that's stopping them? And what is the best advice for them to overcome whatever it is that's stopping them?
It's multifaceted. There is an element where you have to deal with the entrepreneur on a personal level, and you have to unpack their limitations, fear, doubt, laziness, and the willingness. There always has to be a drive that you have to work on when you're coaching an entrepreneur. You know, there's certain, you know how in business studies 101, grade 10, they first ask you what are the characteristics of a business person. Risk-taking, I'm bold, I'm confident, right? These are all mindset traits that you should absolutely have because it's not easy. And because you are a leader, you first have to start leading you. So I often say that your business is a reflection of exactly who you are. If there's chaos, it means you are chaotic. And when we have to unpack those limitations, we look first at the person, what we have to instill in you, that belief. Because I mean, yes, it's fluff. Believe in yourself. How do I do that? You know, and it's just making a decision. You have to be decisive. You have to commit. You have to stay the course. You have to ride the wave, right? And giving up is not an option. You try until you try again. So that's one aspect. And then we look at the business. We look at, do you know who you're selling to? What exactly is it you're selling? Why are you selling this thing? Would you buy from yourself?
And would anyone else?
And would anyone else, you know? And then we find that, oh no, I'm copying and pasting. I'm selling this because Jedd is selling this. Why? I saw that, oh, construction. I'm also going to go into construction. Oh, everyone is a security company. Oh, me too. Oh, let's all start cleaning companies. We don't look for gaps in the opportunities, even though the opportunities are there. And we don't know how to even approach unpack. There are certain barriers that you have put up for yourself, thinking, I can't access a certain thing because it's not for me. So when you discount yourself already, it will reflect in your business. You will have those loopholes.
Makes sense. I think it is all about the introspection part of the journey. And if I was to think about it, there are three circles. If we draw a Venn diagram out, the one circle is something that you're passionate about, something that fulfills you, because when the going gets tough, you can't give up easily. Then the second circle is something that you're good at. Maybe it's naturally good at, or you've built experience up over time. And then the third circle, and the one that people don't think about carefully enough, and you alluded to it, is will people pay for it? Is it a problem that you're trying to solve? And people are willing to part with hard-earned money in order for you to solve that problem for them.
Nice one. You made it all the way to the end of the video. And now the focus shifts to you. You're early. This channel has less than 500 subscribers, and we're only just getting started. The Great Enabler podcast was built to share real wisdom from people who've actually built businesses so that more entrepreneurs like you can grow something meaningful. If that resonates with you, subscribe and join us. Let's build this platform together. Be one of the early adopters and join the first 1,000 club.